We're doing a Q&A for 8K, which I don't have. Hey folks, Editing Man here, and while editing the podcast, Hey guys, just a quick announcement before we get into the Q&A. I've got 9 copies of my book, Ashtray, left for sale on my website, mammothin.space. They will not be printed again for a while. It doesn't really make sense for me to reprint unless there's a lot of demand, which there simply will not be, since I only have a paltry not even 8,000 subscribers. So, if you want a copy of my book, you best be speedy about it, okay? Because they're gonna sell out when this video comes out. I just know it. That's mammothin.space. Let's get into the Q&A. You might be able to tell that I've moved apartments. And so each shot I'll show you guys a little bit more of my apartment. First question I got, which do you prefer, pooping or pissing? Pooping wins, definitely. What would be your perfect Sunday? Would you stay out or go in? I don't really operate on like a weekend basis because I've been a freelancer for so long. So a perfect day would just be a day where I get to kind of, work on videos during the day. Don't feel any physical or mental pains. I get to eat some good food, retire in the evening, perhaps spend time with my girlfriend or play some video games and read and go to bed. That sounds like a pretty good day to me. Your shoes raggedy. I've been curious. How did you get into video production? Guess you could say I'm looking for the Mammoth in Space origin story. Ever since I was given the tools, which is when I was a teenager and had my first laptop, and we would just use the webcam to make stupid shitty videos. We would just copy Ryan Higa's videos, and then later on when I was a Call of Duty trick shot nerd, I made editing montages for that. I was never very good at trick shotting, which is why I leaned into editing, and then I was too lazy to become a good editor because I smoked too much weed. But I had a couple of good things. There was this clan, Reflex Knifing, and I won their editing recruitment challenge. That was my proudest moment as a COD editor. Call of Duty was why I cracked After Effects in the first place, and I would say without COD, I would have never become the editor that I am today. And then I got back into making sketches when I was 17, 18, and then tried to go to film school at the University of Colorado. I thought that was really stupid and a waste of time, and I ended up skipping classes, film production classes, just to make YouTube videos. And then I was why am I doing this? And I dropped out, and then I just drove for Lyft for a couple of years and became a freelance editor for other YouTubers, and just still make my own videos now. So I hope that's a good origin story. What is your biggest inspiration for making content? A person, your cats, or just plain old life? I'd say the 2 former suggestions kind of all fall under the final suggestion, which is plain old life. And I'm not really sure that there's much else that one could be inspired by. But yeah, my cats are inspiring. I love making videos about my cats. They're great. If I'm ever short of inspiration, you could definitely just look to animals or nature and, just find an endless source of entertainment. What is it like to hold a gyat of someone you love? A lot of these terms, gyat and rizd, are very new to me, so they don't hold a lot of valence. But I know it means big butt or butt. I'd say it's nice to the first question. Do I long to have my heart rizzed? Riz is something I still don't know or understand, and I'm purposefully avoiding it. I've never seen the Rizzler or the Costco guys. I've only been told about them ad nauseum, and I'm purposefully never going to watch that shit. It's a conscious decision to not sully my brain. What wood chipper would you recommend? The only one. The Vermeer BC600 XL. If I could get my hands on more wood chippers, I would make that a series and just make wood chipper reviews. But I only had that one experience where my buddy had the wood chipper. My buddy Logan had a wood chipper for the weekend. And so that's the only time I've ever been in the presence of such a beautiful wood chipper. So if you guys have wood chippers kind of on the ready, hit me up. If you live in the Midwest, I'll pull up on you and we can make a wood chipper review video. When making scrambled eggs, add sour cream into them. It'll bring enlightenment upon your lost soul. Either that or it'll simply make your scrambled eggs better. Win-win. I'm sure it would. I could totally see that. I've, added milk to eggs and whatnot. But, as I grow older and more ailing, being an elderly, senile 28-year-old with a totally failing digestive system, I've found that dairy just gives me diarrhea. So I love sour cream, but alas, right? Alas, my ass. What are your long-term goals, both in your professional and personal life? I'm going to take these one at a time. I don't know. I've never been one for super long-term goals just because life can really change on a fucking, turn of the century. Life changes quick. And so I don't like long-term goals because I'll sort of get quite certain that I'm going to do one thing and then 5 minutes will pass and I'm quite certain that I won't do that thing anymore. But I think generally speaking, long-term goals, personal, professional, just a couple things I want to do is just make enough money off of my personal artwork that I don't have to farm out my time to other YouTubers or content creators and have to make stuff for them. Just be able to do this full time, YouTube art, whatever it may be, right? Making short films, that sort of thing. And then other than that, I want to just get a house of my own. I live in a duplex now and that's super cool, but I want a house of my own and a dog and these 2 cats and my girlfriend to live there, and it'll be nice and fun and cool. Favorite movie, book, food. My favorite movie I saw last year is this movie called The Wailing. I'm just going to say that. Favorite book might be Kafka on the Shore by Haruki Murakami. Favorite food. When I was growing up, I would always say fried rice, and fried rice is pretty banging. Let's just let 10-year-old Thomas have that one. Do you prefer jelly or jam on PB&J? Which fruit is your preferred J? Depends on the jelly or jam. I'm fine with both. I think maybe I prefer jelly. Big fan of grape jelly. Let's go with grape jelly, because I can't just hem and haw over everything. I got to give real answers. Favorite superhero? The Michelin Man. What superpower would you want? The ability to smoke cigarettes and have nothing bad happen to your health. Which places in the world do you want to visit before you die? Japan, India, Greenland, because my mom's from there. That's a good 3. There you go. Where are your ancestors from? Well, Greenland and Denmark. If aliens are real, how do you think the world would realistically react? Probably just shrug of the shoulders. Do I believe in aliens? Yeah. Why or why not? Because, it seems very, earthocentric thinking to be, we're the only planet with shit on it. Ghosts or monsters or vampires or werewolves or gnomes or fairies. Gonna just do, a hard, I don't know. Do I ever feel bad for Eric? For what? He's got it so good. Since you and Eric mentioned Hyper Demon in one of the podcast episodes long ago, you should kidnap the guy that made the game, then you force him to make a game at least half as good as that one. But here's the catch. Make it about Ashtray, my book, of which there are 9 copies left. Go get one. And then you make a blockbuster movie adaptation because it is going to blow up, 100% legal guarantee. Then you start a multimedia empire around the movie and your book. You make the big bucks and then you dominate the entertainment industry. And then all the media in the world is going to be crust fueled by your dreams. And then you fly to Japan with all that money and then you punch Murakami in the face or whatever you want to do with him. I thought really hard about this one. I hope it helps with the samsara. Nothing helps with samsara, but you did try, and I appreciate that. And he says, love your stuff, clown face. Does that mean you're lying with the clown face? Why you adopt dumb obese cat when you could have gotten a brand new one that is better and cooler than a stupid obese one? Tony's the best cat ever, Ron. Okay? Tony is the best cat ever. This is my friend Nathaniel.
Hey.
He was in a video of mine 7 years ago. It's still on this channel. It's called The Pain of Modern Living. Nathaniel's out here because we just shot a short film that I wrote and now have actually directed and shot. So that's why Nathaniel's here now. And so I figured I'd just have him pop in and we'll answer some of these questions together.
Yeah, you guys don't know me, but here I am, I guess.
Well, the OGs might know you.
Yeah, the 10 people that have seen all of Thomas's shit. They know me well.
What are your biggest regrets in life?
I would always pull my punches when I was younger. Someone's an asshole to you, and I would always take the high road on some the internal logic being oh, I'll get the last laugh one day, they'll see.
Yeah.
And it's I think I look back on some of those moments and I'm I should have just told him to fuck off.
I should have just fucking gone for the kill.
Should have just
I think there are a couple moments like that. The guy who shot The Pain of Modern Living. Do you remember that guy at all? The guy who filmed it?
Dude, I have zero memory of there being someone else there besides us. But now that you mentioned that there was someone shooting, we were both in it. So that tracks.
My friend.
Yeah.
was holding the camera. I forget what was happening. I forget what the text conversation was even about at this point. But it all culminated in him calling me a faggot. And in a very like sincere way, you know, trying to hurt me and be mean.
Yeah. He meant it with his whole.
Yeah. And then I was basically like, hey man, you can't do that. I'm not going to be your friend anymore. Unless you apologize to me. And then he kind of gave me I'm sorry you feel that way. And then, you know, my homie like tried to like come, because it was like the three of us were really good friends. And so my homie tried to sort of like be an intermediary. And he was like, you should just talk to yada, yada, yada. So I talked to him and I was like, all right, man, you know, whatever. I can like let it go. Like we've been friends forever. Like I could fucking. And then I get off the phone. And like he still hadn't really apologized in a way that I felt was like, he kind of just was like, it was a joke, man. Like you just took a joke weird. And I was like, no. Yeah. And then like after I got off the phone, I was like, you know what? Actually, I still don't want to be your friend anymore. This is still sus. And like the thing that I regret was me being like kind of pussy on the phone and being like, fine, like, you know, I guess I could have taken it in the wrong way.
Yeah.
Rather than my gut being like, no, I was fucking right, and you know what? You're a shitty person for doing that. Do you believe in souls?
Duh.
Yeah.
The fuck?
Spoilers. At the end of Ashtray, is there going to be any closure? I enjoyed your book. There was an open-ended ending. There will be closure in a way because I am working on a sequel.
Yes, sir.
But it might raise more open-ended, unclosure things.
Well, any good story has some, you know, has some mystery, right?
Have you seen the Spanish film Thesis? Have you seen that?
Thesis?
It means thesis in English.
Yeah. Okay, got it.
So, no, I haven't seen that. When you wrote this comment, I did look it up. It looks interesting. Have you listened to the New York-based rapper Kool Keith?
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
We're both from New York, so, you know.
Dr. Octagon Ecologist.
Yes, sir.
It's a great album.
Critique.
Wow.
I would surely appreciate a higher concentration of podcast episodes. It's the highlight of my workday. I know you guys only have so much time in a week. I'm just parasocial and your podcasts are seriously top notch. Thank you.
He's hungry.
Eric and I do have a Patreon podcast that I never plug. If you guys want to support me, you can hit the Patreon. The podcast is only $5 a month. Patreon podcast. We have a podcast that comes out every week, mostly, probably every week and a half. This guy would probably appreciate it if we did every week. But again, we've been working a lot on stuff. We're busy.
Sigma energy. Do you think isolation is beneficial, necessary to the creative process? I feel like isolation in moments and in periods is really important. Like for writing, I mean, unless you're like a super collaborative person, you kind of need to, you know.
I think isolation is huge. Like I think when you have the spark that like generates the idea, then, you know, whether it's like isolation with another person, because I think you could do that too if you are like yourself, like writing stuff with a partner, but like to actually like further that idea and like hone it to completion, I think you gotta like really lock in with the idea and isolate yourself with the idea to refine it. And whether that's you or like a team of people, I think that sense of like you guys and the idea alone in a room, only focused on that idea, is super needed. Undetermined alias, since you clowned me, will answer yours.
Oh, he's back.
What are your best Christmas adjacent stories from your life? There was one time I would go to Denmark growing up for Christmas for 2 weeks.
With every Christmas?
Every Christmas. We'd go to Denmark for 2 weeks in the winter and 2 weeks in the summer.
I didn't know.
All my extended family's there. Okay, so one Christmas when I was like 19, I think, or 20, we go. And Christmas with Danish people, you know, they pull out the schnapps and they're going to drink you under the table.
Okay.
So I'm with my cousins. You know, my uncle got so drunk that his forehead hit the table and he just like plopped down. My cousin literally had to grab him from under the armpits and drag him to his bed. And so I'm drinking just as much as them. And so I'm insanely fucked up. My whole family's fine.
Yeah.
It was just like who got guilted into drinking tonight. It was the four of us. My family's driving home back to the hotel we're staying at. Yeah, they have to have the car pull over at a McDonald's so I can vomit in the McDonald's trash can. And then my twin sister pulls out her camera. And this was right when the DJ Khaled shit was huge, where he was big on Snapchat for doing, you know, the key to success shit.
Yeah, the major key stuff.
Yeah. So let me see. My sister filmed me and said, "What's the key to success?"
While you were vomiting.
While I was like having just vomited.
What's the key to success?
Key to success is the path to success. Yeah.
And then
I like the gang sign you make.
so that's me
That's such a crazy thing.
on the right. How wild is that?
That's great.
Yeah. I want to try and decipher what I said because it's important.
What's the key to success?
Key to success is the path to success. Yeah.
The key to excel is the path
The
to
key to
success.
excel is the path to success.
That's kind of fire.
That's like a riddle.
That's kind of hard.
The key to excel is the path to...
The key to excel is the path to success.
Oh, God.
What does that mean?
It's like philosophical.
I could spend the next 20 years of my life
Yeah, it's
figuring
too
that one
deep.
out.
I don't think I'm ready for that.
Yeah.
I need to get like a philosophy degree.
Okay, editor man checking back in. 9 copies of my book left. There's probably less now that you're at the end of that long ass video. You can check out Mr. Nathaniel here at his Instagram, La Vida Terrible, and check out his series in his bio called And the Bathroom. It's a funny little satirical sitcom series, very surreal and weird. It's cool. If you want to hear more about that short film that we just shot together, we talked about it on the most recent episode of the Patreon podcast, and Eric and I will be talking about it more as we do more podcasts, because Eric's in it too. That is only $5 a month. Just go to patreon.com/mammothinspace. And yeah, get yourself 130 episodes of fucking podcasts that are already there. And we make new episodes once a week-ish. Like once every week and a half, most likely, but trying to do once a week. And yeah, I directed and edited a music video for my buddy Josh called WOAH. You can find that linked in the description as well. And finally, regarding the book plates that were promised to those of you who pre-ordered the book, basically those are probably coming, but I can no longer give promises as to when. They're like kind of ready, but my girlfriend has to make them. I'm too stupid, and she has a full-time job and is a busy person. I'm sorry. I'm hoping they'll come to you soon. Eventually. You know, I have all your addresses. As soon as we make them, I will send them out. It's just I don't want to give a timeline because I don't know when. This year, for sure, but, you know, sometime. Okay? So, thank you, finally, for almost 8,000 subs. Is that really the best you guys can do? If 1,000 of you told 5 people about my channel, we could have 13,000 subs. Come on, do a little canvassing for me. I'm gonna stop talking and just get out of here. Bye.